Live from the MC.
It's your girl, Melissa Jane, a.k.a. Fairy Juice Mother. For those who have heard about me. For those who didn't, that's completely fine. Believe everything you hear. I am the Fairy Juice Mother, where I encourage others to be themselves. So here I am. Shouts to the Dyckman Podcast for putting me on, this center stage. It's been a long time since I've been here. I have two amazing actors next to me, which I'm going to give them the opportunity to introduce themselves. But first, I want to give some shout-outs. We here right now in Havana Tacos, which I'm looking forward to eat some tacos here, because seriously, okay? I'm hungry already.
That's a fact.
But shouts to Havana Tacos. Shouts to G-Man for giving us the opportunity and, to be here and use his space. He also do have a spot, which is Healthy Dyckman here in Dyckman. One is coming down in Washington Heights, so look out for that one. I'm looking forward to this. Look at this. This is healthy right here, coming from Dyckman. So shouts to Dyckman and the community in Dyckman. Yeah. All right, shouts to this whole show is sponsored by Food NYC. Let's give that round of applause. It's coming straight from that core. Yeah. Okay. Food NYC encourages authenticity and confidence. Please take some time to look at the profile. Full Full NYC on Instagram, okay? So going to our actors.
I'm about to follow them right now.
To my right, we have...
Hey, what's up? It's your boy Frankie Medina. Shout out to the Heights. I know it's a Dyckman podcast, but I'm from up the hill, St. Nick. So consider myself a jack of all trades. I have my man Freddie for inviting me. A big fan of the show, and you already know, here we are.
How you doing? My name is Kevin Ben Kosman. Born and raised in the Bronx in Dyckman. Full-time actor, writer, producer, director, all that stuff.
Shouts to them in the building. I like the whole jack of all trades. I like that. The entire thing, the package. And what do you consider the jack of all trades to be for you?
I mean, I consider myself a creative first and foremost. So whatever I do is just, I like things that spark creativity, whether it be acting, writing, art, I do a little of everything. Some would say that's kind of been a crutch at times, because I can't concentrate very well. I got ADD and I do a lot of different things. I'm like, tú estás haciendo eso ahora. Here we go. Now what you do with that? But like I said, I'm, devoted to the arts, man. And since a little kid, I've been doing the acting. I've been on the other side, your side of the mic with the media and production and interviewing artists and stuff like that. So that's always a passion of mine. And I was a registered songwriter for BMI, so I did the music thing since I was 18, 19. Yeah, I worked with Sony. I worked with Def Jam. I worked with Bad Boy on the street team and stuff when that was a thing. I was young, when I had in-stores. And stuff like that. So, I've been around the whole music, arts, entertainment. My day job is I sell liquor. So that's what, pays the bills on the day-to-day. And
that's to the
shout out to Camu Cognac. That's what we're moving. And
it's all right, too. Ain't selling
right,
no
it's
mid. Ain't selling no mid.
Aged 4 to 8 years, smooth flavor profile.
Yes,
you get the vanilla and chocolate notes.
Yo, you guys have to try this. It really tastes better than E&J, and I've had E&J for a very long time.
Oh, yeah,
This is good. Just smooth. Yeah.
Yep.
The whole ADD thing you said, bro, that's some people look at it as a hindrance, but it's actually a strength. You can't multitask if you're paying attention to one thing only.
Right.
I like that. I needed that.
I just made that up.
I like that because
I'm gonna use that next time. They're like, yo, friend, you're ADD.
Take that.
You're like, yeah, no.
Listen, when you said HD, I really do struggle with that. And the reason why I highlighted the jack of all trades is because outside of us, a lot of people want to put us in a box. Right. And the fact that you are embracing the full of you. I did get a chance to read about your poetry. And is the rock star versus thinker. I actually teared to that because I honestly believe that we do have those two individuals in a battle as we going through this journey. Do you feel like you struggle versus the thinker and rock star, the ones that that confident guy versus the one that tones you down?
Oh, 100%. 1,000%. There's definitely times where you need both. You need to be able to be confident and think on your feet. But the whole rock star stuff, especially out here on Dyckman with all the nightlife scene, you could definitely get caught up in it. But I don't really battle with it as much as I used to. I kind of know when to say no and when to stay home.
Shouts to the growth, ladies and gentlemen, because that's growth.
No, for sure. I love being home on Friday nights while everybody's outside, and I'm just at home writing a script.
I hear that. Yeah, it's the same with me. I guess just my day to day is. I sell liquor to all these accounts uptown and stuff like that. They're all partners of mine. So on the weekend, I don't even really want to be out. I want to go watch a movie with my kid. That's our thing. Or, I just want to take it easy. I haven't turned on the PlayStation since I bought it like 3 years ago. But I might do that with the kid if he's around and stuff like that. But definitely, I was a lot wilder in my youth. I'm almost approaching the last year in level 3. Before I'm in level 4, so I think I've slowed down. People tell me, I'm acting old. I'm just like, I was doing what a lot of people are doing now. I was doing it when I was like 15.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I've been there, done that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I've been around the entertainment industry my whole life. So like, I never knew what it was to like be 21 and show an ID. Like I had when I was 15, I had literally an ID. From Seafred, from 190 in St. Nick. Shout out to Seafred, the photographer. He gave me an ID that said phone company. And at 15, I looked like I was 12. Because, you know what I'm saying? Maybe 11 or 10. And that's how I get on the clubs that, the ones that messed with me. But back then, it wasn't even that hard. I'm talking about like early 2000s, stuff like that. But
I must say, you look young now. What's your age?
I'm 38. Yeah, I have no problem saying it.
Let's give a round of applause to the 38 looking this young. Hello.
Thank you. I have no problem saying it. It's I tell everybody I live a balanced life. Don't overindulge. We had the conversation before we started filming about signs and all that. I'm a super Libra, which is I love it.
Libras, I'm a Libra rising.
Balance, very creative people. My man Fred know very creative people.
Reason why we're so indecisive, but it's okay because we still carry on.
I definitely don't know what I want for dinner every day. I definitely don't figure it out. But, we live a very balanced life. I can't have too much of anything. Like, even if I go out, I want to go out for an hour and a half, and then I got to go home.
Agreed.
I can't be in a spot for 4 hours haciendo tiempo. Like, how many times I'm going to hear the same Bad Bunny set? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm good.
I'm not gonna hold you. I could be in a spot for 4 hours. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there.
So let's ask you your age.
You could play Bad Bunny for 4 hours. I'll be alright, personally. I'll be alright. I like to bar hop and stuff too, but
I hear it.
I get settled in. It's lit.
So let me ask you your age. Now they already stated mine.
Yeah.
I turned 30 in April, so I'm 29 right now.
You still on level 2. Got a lot of energy.
We can't underestimate that.
I've been 30 since I was 27, my brother.
So you've been 3 years in advance?
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
I got it.
We can't underestimate that because I appreciate age, especially if you pay attention to your age throughout the time. I'm currently 35, so I'm in the middle between both.
Yeah.
So I'm able to see the 30s and the 39s in some way, shape, and form. And I can see where you come from, slow down route, calm, peaceful. With him, he's actually getting there because I actually feel that energy with you. Like, you're like,
you look yourself.
So I definitely agree when it comes to the different levels of age. Also, the different levels of millennials. Like us, we're millennials, but there are different levels of millennials. You have the millennials that are working with their 2 sides, but then we have other millennials that are just working with the low vibrational side, but that's a different story.
And what side what's the low vibrational side?
Okay, so the low vibrational side is you're not saying you're 1 foot in but 1 foot out, but you are aware. So I'm talking to you. It's almost like when you have the urge to want to be out, party with friends, but then you don't really got the urge. It's like I'd rather stay home and check out. So it's that urge versus him where it's more like I just rather stay in. I don't want no parts. By the time you hit 33, you're going to realize which way you want to go. Do you want to be more on the scene, or do you want to be more on the creative field, calm, loving energies, stuff like that? But you'll figure that out.
Well, I'll tell you this. If you would have spoke to me 2 years ago, I was definitely there. Now I'm more of like, I'm not even interested in going out.
I agree.
I haven't really been outside like that in about 2 years since I really got focused on my career and what I'm doing. But I'm not far removed from that, so I can still relate to it. Yeah,
right, because the reason why I say you're close is because let's say you meet someone, that person could encourage you to go right back. Like you're really close to go right back, although you still have your creative, which is why I'm so impressed. Like at 30, I was struggling, of course, with my creative, but we tap in. So when I see a person that's at 30 and they tapped into their creative, I'm extremely like respect, and you're 39, you've been creative since in your 20s, because like doing what you do, I've looked at what he's been doing, and you're going to tell us in just one moment, like what really inspired you guys to say, you know what, today is the day that I break through that fear. Because it's usually that fear that keeps us from actually pursuing what we want to pursue, So what was that day? Like, do you remember when that happened for you?
You want to go first, Cal? Or?
Sure. The day that I decided to go full on in, I can't really pinpoint it, but I want to say once I started really booking my own work, once I really started landing auditions and really proving myself to myself. I remember
that, proving myself to myself.
Yeah, I remember the day I finally got paid.
Ooh,
that was a big deal
feels
too.
Good, right?
I mean, Taurus first of all, he's a Taurus.
You guys that money? Like that money, huh?
Yeah, Tauruses love the money.
Like
and usually I
love
engage
the
with people via signs. Shouts to you guys for not rolling your eyes after I asked you guys, because a lot of times people roll their eyes.
Nah, but believe in that.
That's how I know who's my mix of people. And I'm a Taurus spoon, and I know you guys, once you get that boost of money, it's like there's something here. So I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, 100%. Well, specifically with that day, I got paid. I did a movie called Maguaki, a Dominican romantic comedy.
Yeah, I did see your short film. Yeah,
Thank you. And they actually paid me enough for me to pay my rent.
Oh my God!
So that's why
you were like, oh, there's money here.
Yeah, so that's why I say like the day I got paid was like, oh yeah, if I could get 10 or 12 of these, I don't gotta work. You know what I'm saying?
Period.
Yes.
So now you're gonna be, and you guys are headstrong. So once you guys focus on one thing, you guys are focusing on that one thing. So keep that focus, because it's only gonna get you into bigger places, And as for you, like I'm sure you remember. What was that time that you was like? I mean, you always been. I could see that you always been animated.
Yeah, I definitely was the kid in class that they kick out and stuff like that. So I look like people tell me on WhatsApp. I actually have stickers of my faces throughout. That shit sounds conceited as hell, right? But it's like my same smile throughout my whole life, and it's just like it looks like a Nancy. And it's just like that's later on in life you use that as an advantage, but definitely in school I was like. I've always been into music. Like I said, I come from a musical family and stuff like that. Yeah. So I was a big hip hop head. I was like rapping at like 8 years old, 9 years old and stuff like that. So the music first. I was an intern. For a couple record labels. They weren't really, they paid me with like coffee and my train and my MPA. But, I got to be around and exposed to a lot of the up and coming artists. Like there was people recording on my block. We had a studio. There was a studio there was a label back in the day called UBO that I worked for, and they represented like Top Dollar Entertainment. That's from around here, stuff like that. So like shout out to Reynos and them. And they would always have dudes coming in to the studio. So I got to see people come up like Jolie Grandi.
Yeah.
Who else I saw in the studio? Who's this girl that sings Between Me and You? I forget her name. That was with Puffy before.
Cassie,
right. So I got to see Cassie, all those people. So I was around that. But back then, I was like on some like super heights. I'm too cool to let them know that I could do this, too type stuff. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing that I feel hindered me. I know I'm all over the place right now. So I'm trying to get to the point where...
No, listen, I understand you. I know where you're coming from.
Let's paint the picture a little bit.
Okay.
So you were how old again?
At that point, I'm about 18, 17.
And this was a studio, like a professional studio, not like some in the closet with the mic hanging down studio.
No.
And you've been around that energy since you were 18? And
I've been around that my whole life because my mother was married to a record producer, Mark Anthony's record producer.
Right.
See that.
So I was there when Raulín did like Dominicano, so I was in the studio and all that. Like, I was around the studio my whole, so it wasn't like a big deal.
So it was almost like at the time when you were at the studio, you took it for granted at that period.
Yeah, I took it for granted.
Which is understandable. Yeah. It's understandable because you're not aware. But of course, the fact that you're still doing it, you know, and you still didn't get hindered because, yes, at the time we got hindered and we get hindered because of how we were. But you still have that passion to continue to act. You still have the passion to continue to, like, still get out there. And that's what I see. You know, like, even you doing your short films, your poetry, releasing. Yes, I know, as a Libra, you probably go through these moments where you're like, I'm not doing enough, you know. But I'm sure, you know, we all need that, a couple of friends and a couple of people, even this environment, to let us know, like, you've made it far. Like, whether it may, like, even myself, like, you guys don't know me from a hole in the wall, but we're here engaging or whatever.
Now we don't. Now we know you.
Question, whatever, we know a little. But it's just like, you inspire me. You inspire me.
I appreciate that. Likewise.
That's what I needed today as a host, to watch you. And although, you know, it's almost like the social aspects of things is more like, oh yeah, you're following your numbers, da-da-da-da. I don't see that.
Okay.
That doesn't make you valuable to me. What I would see and our community, you know,
opening up a can of worms.
Let's just say at the bottom, you know, because we're at the bottom.
Right.
It almost feels like we're starting every day. It's new.
Right.
Like we never, you know, so with this topic and this conversation, I want to say, do you guys believe in big breaks?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Now, 100%. Okay, so the big break. I know I would consider you getting paid for the short film being a nice little big break for that time. Like, you know, it's like you got paid. But what's your
well, I don't want to. I wouldn't consider that a big break, but I don't also want to lessen the project at all.
Right. So what's the big break to you?
That was a big deal. that project really made the people around me take me serious.
Right, that's what people.
Yeah, like I mean, I've been doing this for 15 years, but but once I did that film, everybody was like, "Oh, he really is an actor." Like, you know. But what I would consider a big break, I mean, you know, I have a manager. She sends me. She just sent me an audition for The Equalizer today, and like, if I get that would be a step closer to a big break.
Right.
But a big break would be like my own movie. Well, getting a movie in theaters is a big deal. But like, you know, like a major network behind me. Like, let's take, you guys watch Power? Have you seen Power?
Yeah, of course.
Let's take Amari Hardra, for example, who plays Ghost. That was his big break, but he's been in a bunch of stuff before that. But I would consider something like that my big break.
Okay. And as for you, do you believe in big breaks?
Oh,
being your age and what you've gone through.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I don't know what mine is per se. I don't want to be the difficult.
No. Go ahead. Be the devil's advocate.
I just, it's just that because I think I've been exposed to my whole life, there's points.
I'm impressed. I almost feel like it's I'm impressed.
So there's points that maybe from the outside looking in, right? Somebody would say, "Yo, but you," and I'm just like, it's Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? And it's not to sound a certain way, but honestly. You know, I have to remind myself all the time because of the reasons you said, like, damn, I'm not there yet. I want to be this, I want to be that. And, you know, I have a child, so that's like my biggest motivation. And if you don't have children, one thing a child will do is like, it's like a walking clock. Like, I don't see my age. I don't feel my age. But when you have a kid, you're like, damn, this dude got a mustache. Shit, I gotta get more bread. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I feel that shit all the time. So, you know, I'm not sure, but there have been points in my life where I'm like, damn, I did that. Like, I got to perform at United Palace with my friend, Marlon Jimenez, who, she was part of a girl group called Girls Talk Bachatera, and she's also the manager of Bronx Public over there in the Bronx. And, you know,
so I'm gonna need her IG in case.
Right, yeah. So look her up, Marlon Music.
You know what I'm saying? Get a little song.
Yeah, shout out to her. And it's like, at the time, it's like, okay, United Palace. But then now I see just in the last couple of months, I saw Alicia Keys United Palace. I saw Mary J at United Palace. And I'm like, yo, I performed here too. I performed with Mary J. I performed. So it's moments like that in hindsight, you're like, all right, you know what? I've done something. And you got to remind yourself of that to
all
keep pushing. That, it's not where you want to be, but you want, every day is progress, right?
Now, let's look at his age and your age difference and my age. Like, I'm looking at you because you're a couple of steps ahead when it comes to age, So I'm like, okay, I'm not messed up for being 35 and feeling like, damn, I want to do more or I'm unimpressed. And the only reason why I know I relate to you is because you being a Libra and me being a Libra rising. I'm a woman of many trades, and the jack of all trades. And yes, people try to put me in a box, and I'm like, no, But you kind of like inspire me, like, you're still going to be good, You still are going to be good. And the fact that you are still doing it, you still are here, present moment, he took the time to come here and, just do podcasts with some friends,
For sure, no?
So I really, we really appreciate that. As for you as well, just know that there is some moments, and I'm going to ask you guys this question now. Have you ever had a period of time where it was just stagnant? Like it was just, I know it was COVID, other than COVID, because COVID was stagnant. And I did see your podcast that you curated around the time. It was Trappin' Church. Which is great. I was in tune to that as well, because I'm just like, wow, throughout the entire time, he's trying to build the podcast. I was doing the same too. But of course, you're older than me, so I was still struggling with some emotional aspects of myself. But seeing you, be at that level, it was just like, okay, Traps in Church, great. Other than, the COVID stopping us and putting us on hold, what was another period of time where you felt like you was just stagnant and you like, God, you leaving me behind?
Yeah.
Like, God, you leaving me behind. But since we're here now, he still held on, because we're here now. But in the past, let's talk about that.
I think definitely for me, and it was a life lesson. I was like in a near-death experience. I don't really want to go too deep into it, but I kind of, got paranoid and I didn't want to be out, or I didn't want to be out with like not to get too thin, but like a knife on me and stuff like that or whatever. And, I decided to turn that into a positive. So, I would go home and I would write in my notebook, and it kind of inspired a lot of the book, right? So at one point that I just said, you know what, I got a whole book here, let me publish it. And, I published a book, and it was not.
The book was 2019, by the way.
No, it was way before. Right. I did that in 2010.
2010?
Yeah.
Oh, so wait, you started writing it, but you started writing it.
I published it in 2010, 2011.
Wow.
Yeah, so it has like 10 years already.
The poetry book?
Yeah. So the good that came out of that, there was a lot of people around here in the community that supported me, bought the book, and I sold the book to people who didn't buy books.
Pushing books like bricks, huh?
That was my slogan. I push books like bricks, and people that had never bought a book, and it's like, yo, if you're gonna buy some weed from your local man, you could also buy a book,
right?
And take it to the next level, right? And that was my whole marketing tactic.
La labia.
But with that said, it's like, at that point I was kind of like in despair. A lot of things were going wrong or whatever. But I decided to turn that into a positive, which is, my advice to like whoever's going through that. Like, that has to be the moment that you go outside. You can't be stuck in your room pensándolo mucho. Like, tú tienes que, eso cuando tienes que coger calle. That's what I be telling people. They be telling me, no, that's when you got to go out and put yourself out there, because you never know who you're going to meet along the way. And that's one thing I do. I'm always in industry mixers. So don't think because I've slowed down on the nightlife side that I'm not in these industry events. I just want to be where I know that I'm around an energy that could possibly take me to, the next step in the game.
Networking, brother.
Right, networking. And, that's something that I do all week long,
always
right?
looking for that solution.
Yeah, so that was it for me.
Now, as for you, let's ask you, recently or even in the past, what are some challenges that you faced as an actor? Like, I know we all are scared of rejection, right? And was there like a part that you wanted and kind of like rejected for? And,
Oh, of course. Yeah, you get that all the time.
Yeah?
All the time. Yeah. As an actor, you can't be an actor if you're scared of rejection.
But wait, prior to becoming an actor, I know as a 35-year-old woman, let's just say I'm not being an actor, but I'm still afraid of rejection. So how do you overcome not fearing rejection and still pursuing the actor role? You know what I mean?
Okay. So that was a two-part question. One, I'm gonna answer the challenges, then I'll answer that.
Right. It's my fault.
No, it's okay. The challenges that I face. So when I was 15, this is my second dive into acting. When I was 15, I had a private acting coach. I had a manager. I was cutting class with my mom, actually, to go to auditions.
Okay.
Like, she was supporting it.
So it was something you always wanted to do.
Yeah.
It's in your heart. Okay.
Yes. And, back then, my acting coach always told me, you have the whole package. You just got to get in shape. So I've always had like not really a weight issue in life, but a weight issue in terms of like taking off your shirt and being ripped. You know what I mean?
Comfortable within your own skin.
No, I'm comfortable.
Right.
It's the producers.
Okay.
Like being show business shape. So that's a challenge, and also the beard. If you look at a lot of TV shows, there's not many beards on TV shows,
right? Because
it covers up half your face, takes away from emotion. So those are the challenges I face, but nothing I can't fix.
Right.
Now the second part to your question, in terms of the rejection thing, I'll tell anybody if you're scared of rejection, this is not your field, because you will get your feelings hurt, you will get your heart broken, and you will be confused. Like, why didn't they take me? And it might not have anything to do with you. You know, but yeah, was there a part that I went for that I didn't get? I've booked TV shows that haven't been greenlit. I've gone for TV shows that, they go as far as to ask you for your schedule, and you give them your schedule and you never hear from them again. Like it happens.
That happened to me one time. Before Love and Hip Hop, the original concept was like a Jersey Shore indictment, and they casted me for that, and they told me like, you're gonna be part of the show, whatever. In hindsight, I'm glad it really didn't happen because I didn't want to be.
You talking about that Washington Heights TV show?
No. That was actually my family that did that. This was like a reality show, like legit reality show, kind of Jersey Shore. It was with. It turned into basically Love and Hip Hop because Angie Martinez was going to host, and there was people from the community involved. And they told me like, you're going to film in October. This was around August or September. So the first thing I did was I banged up my credit cards and I bought mad clothes. I'm like, because I'm gonna be on TV then.
Yo, why would you do that?
I bought so many belts that I never wore. And long story short, it didn't happen. So I know that feeling. And again, I go back to like in hindsight, like I said before, like. One thing is, I'm happy it didn't happen now because I saw that a lot of at least that reality show stuff is really fabricated, and they really, we know that, right?
It's not true to you.
It's like wrestling now. We know.
That's what it is. It's almost like disturbing because yes, you want to be in the show business, but if it's not true to you as an individual, you're just not going to be in tune to it, and that's where you and I relate. Like it's just like. No, it's me being fake. Like, I cannot be nobody else other than myself unless a character. So going back to our question. Have you guys had like let's just say a favorite character you like to play? Like, what's your favorite easygoing type of character that you wouldn't mind playing on a show? Well,
the one that people recognize for and stuff like that, like I have an Australian that lives in Dyckman.
I saw that one.
And his name is Basil Exposition. And he goes on adventures in Dyckman. His name is Basil Exposition, and he goes on adventures in Dyckman.
Especially in the snow days.
Yeah, on snow days when I got time is when he goes out.
So he gives you the weather in the snow day.
Yeah, so he goes out. And his girlfriend is the Chapiadora.
Yeah.
And she be sending him on missions to get like Sancocho.
I think I know her.
I
think I know her.
Damn.
I'm sure
she's over there, right?
Right up the block, Academy.
I'm sure he enjoys the character because people enjoy the character. And I think it's the accent. The fact that you're able to like be free and like be funny at the same time. So that's pretty dope. As for you, Kevin, right? He even likes it.
So I'm writing, directing, producing, and starring in 2 different web series.
Writing, director, and producing.
Yeah. And
first of all, people don't know.
And starring. Don't forget the starring.
What that is. The song?
No, No, starring.
Oh, starring.
Yeah.
He said don't forget.
Super estrella.
Yeah, don't forget that part. Yeah, so basically, I just wrapped up a web series called Paper, and I wrote the spinoff, and we're filming that at the end of May. Thank you, and we're filming that at the end of May. So I have 2 series that I'm doing where I'm playing the same character. His name is Mike Williams, and that is easily my favorite character because
Embarks you as a person.
No, it's the complete opposite as who I am. And you'll see when it comes out. But this is somebody that I've developed. You know, like I got the series. The first season was written.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Sorry to cut you off.
Sure.
When you say develop, like, is it something like within you, somewhere in there?
No.
Nothing?
There's nothing in there that's me. What I mean by developed is that when I first got the first series, the first season was 95% written. So I took what I had, threw my own acting techniques into it, and then the spin-off series I completely wrote by myself, and I made a backstory.
Shouts to that.
And I made a backstory, so that's why it's like it's personal to me.
Yeah.
You know, as opposed to all the other characters that I've played.
That's what's up. I mean, I could tell you guys got my full support if you guys ever want to
Likewise.
do a movie or make a movie and need an actor. I'm not an actor, but I know that the journeys of life and being an all trades type of woman, I am open to doing these type of things. I've done, the very first time I think I've done like a hood movie in Brooklyn somewhere, right? And the issues with me in my personal reality is that I never really get the footage. So I don't really talk about it. But I've done slight acting in a movie that, if you ever see it, don't mind me, I was 27 years old. But, I was able to experience being an actor and changing from who I am into somebody else. So I know that it's something very, very difficult. Have you guys done any training when it comes to
100%.
acting?
100%. I started at 15 years old, taking private classes on the Upper West Side, 104th and West End. And when I did that for about 8 years, and I was taking classes with kids that were going to LaGuardia, smoking them, by the way.
Right.
Then I was
Taurus energy, big Taurus energy.
There was people in my classes that actually made it. Like some of my people in my classes had Tony Awards. People in my classes went out to do big movies,
right.
And are still making movies to this day. And then after that, I went to LaGuardia Community College. And funny thing is, this is when I knew I made the right choice. I went to LaGuardia Community College to be a lawyer. I got my AA in criminal justice, but I never wanted to be in school. My grades were really bad. So what I did, I went back to my acting. I'm like, this is what I'm good at.
This is what you're good at.
Started getting straight A's until I got my GPA up, graduated. I went to City College.
Graduation, girl.
For sure. I went to City College for a semester, and I double majored in theater and music.
Shouts to the intellectual. Oh, man.
And then after that, I transferred to Lehman, and I majored in theater there. So I kind of bounced all over the city, learning for the last 15 years.
Experiencing many new people, doing different projects.
Learning from different teachers.
At first, did you think that you were going to start writing, or it just happened?
No, writing, directing, and producing kind of got forced on me. I've been acting for 15 years.
That's usually what happens.
Yeah, but the writing, I kind of, I would always just ask, hey, I can write. Can just give me a shot. I'll write. Right. And then I'll write one thing, and they're like, yo, write another thing. Yo, write another thing. Yo, matter of fact, write the whole series.
Expansion. That is expansion.
That.
Asking your creative field.
Asking for it, Right. Not every opportunity comes with a paycheck attached to it. You just got to really do it, and the money will come.
Can we re-quote that?
Yeah, that's a big
As a creator, not every opportunity comes with a paycheck.
For sure.
And he's at 30, 39, 35. We would tell you the same thing.
Sure.
You don't need a paycheck. Why? The
whatsoever.
Abundance later on, as you guys may have experienced, is much gracious. Even myself, I feel like I haven't gotten paid in a long time. But this is right now, right here, this is rich to me, you know, so
Amen.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely expanding on that. One thing I did focus too much on in my younger days was money. And as a result, it's like, I don't even be an intern. These dudes gonna be getting coffee and don't even pay me. And it was really that Heights, I'm from St. Nick type mentality. Like, what you think? Like, I ain't that, you know what I'm saying? And kind of the ego, right? And feeding my ego to like, yo, you should be at least giving me something. But one thing I could tell you is a lot of people, just like you mentioned, that I came up with, they made the sacrifice. They didn't worry about the money, and now they're in positions where they're the A&Rs of record labels, where they're like traveling all over the world working for Spotify or whatever the case may be. Like personal friends that is like, you know, Frank, you had the best chance of all of us, but you were too focused on like what you thought was money at the time, because at 17, 18, we have a different concept, right? You give me a couple of $1,000s in a week, I'm rich, right? And that's not really nothing, you know? So that's, you know, that's definitely, that's my another key advice to people coming up when it's just like you're in a struggle and all that. Sometimes the reward comes a lot greater, a lot later.
You know what's the opposite of that, bro? Because of the position I'm in right now, because of the work I've put in, I'm in a place where I could put people in movies. I've put people in movies, and then we do the movie, and then afterwards they're like, "Yo, if we're gonna do it again, I need to get paid."
What?
And I'm just like, yeah, I understand, because I gave you the opportunity, so you don't know what it's like to struggle in this field, you know. So I definitely hear you, but there's also the flip side to. I mean, some people just don't know what it takes, have what it takes, and expect the world.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I definitely have been one of those where it's like my ego is just like, okay, I need to, like, you're kind of taking advantage of me. That's how I feel, right? Maybe that comes from like I was always a loner and doing my own thing and kind of self-reliant. So it's just like, all right, you're not going to take advantage of me, but sometimes you got to just play along and, you know, and pay your dues, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And I was definitely one that kind of like cut my nose to spite my face, like, man, I'm leaving this Sony thing because you just want to give me $200 for a song, for me to write a song. I don't even get points on the record, none of that. And who knows where I could have been.
You know what's crazy? At some age, you had the ego overpass your spirit. You know what I mean? Yeah. And now that you're here, you're more like a little bit more calmer about what you give and what you put onto the table. And of course, you are aware of your values. And of course, you're not going to let nobody take you for granted now at your age, you know. So yeah, let's be grateful, and we are all grateful, I'm sure, that, you know, we went through the hardships that we went through. It taught us something about our character. Just quick question, like, what like fun techniques you guys use to get into character?
Yeah, I mean,
like, how do you get into character? Like, teach me.
Can you pass me the bottle?
That's how you get into character.
With that being said,
that's how he gets into. That's how a lot of people I know get into character. That's how a lot of people I know get into character. In all aspects of art, they're influenced by some form of inebriation. So that's definitely how a lot of people get into character. I know you're gonna.
To character.
To get into character. You know what gets me into character is actually the people around me. I feed off of them, and sometimes we inspire that type of energy. Salud. Sometimes we inspire that type of energy. Like, you know, I've definitely been with a lot of the comedians like Tommy 5K or Mark or whoever, you know,
Justin Mark, he was supposed to be here.
Yeah, something.
But he's not here. But it's okay. He's here in spirit.
Right. You know, those dudes, it's kind of just improvisado. It's like we just improv, you know, and a lot of the comedians are good with doing that. Yeah, definitely more than me, but once they get their ball rolling, they could get, you know, my wheels turning. So
right, the momentum. Like, okay, so I know that we often don't have to look at the outside world for that momentum, for that validation and stuff like that. How do you cope with such thing? You know, because we all consider to be creators. You are a writer, you are, you know, starring. I'm also, like, when I look at movies, I don't look at the movie, I really look at how it's edited for some odd reason. I'm an editor as well. I used to do YouTube videos, and I'm just looking at the truco cameras as I be doing. Like, I just be like, it's not valid. Like, no, stop moving the camera so much.
I'm so bad to watch movies with now.
So as creators, we're looking at these movies, and we are being their biggest critics, right? Two-part question, because I'm I'm like really starstruck with you guys because I'm really in love with the people that are close to me that are creating. There are not a lot of people, millennials or people from Dyckman or people from New York or people from the Bronx that are creating or believe in creation. And that's the crazy part. The more you create in your social media life, you're able to create in your own personal life. And that's what people don't know and don't understand. And the fact that I have you guys here, I know you guys get it. You guys are on social media, you guys create your vibe, but in your personal life, you guys are also creating, right? So when it comes to your personal life, what do you expect? You know, like I know within relationship, within living environment, stuff like that. Like, what do you expect you as a person so that you can go out and take on the world as a creator? You could go. Anybody.
So what were the exact two questions? I'm sorry.
Okay, so one of the questions, we're just going to focus on one question because I'm all over the place. But
I mean, I can answer two questions at once.
I know you picked it up the
first
first time I saw it. I was like, okay, he remembered both questions.
Yeah. I'm just trying to like directly answer what you're saying.
But what I'm saying is, we know we have our creative. We know we go to social media. We create this content. We create this for the viewers, and that's part of the love that we provide for our viewers. Now, in order for you to re-up, as the fairy juice mother, I know that you need your juice, right? How do you re-up that juice to provide to the viewers the juice that you have in your own personal life?
I'm gonna flip this on you. From my understanding, you guys both create content like for social media, like you have a character.
Sometimes.
Like, nowadays, wait. Nowadays, before I even stepped into creative, social media was there.
Yes.
How you showcase your creative is with social media.
Yes.
How I expand myself is through social media, unless I'm here in real life and you guys are able to get to know me and look at, end up looking at me like, okay, you're not just a bad bitch. You know, like, a lot of people look at the pretty face and just all they see, pretty face, but they don't want to get deeper. Now that we're having a side conversation, I hope that we're able to build a relationship, later on. Like, let's create together, because it's only another ammo to get out into the global aspects of things, but on a personal level, because this was a highlight to me yesterday, personal level. How do you rejuice? Like, how do we gain that energy to get on and do what we got to do into the global world?
Okay, so the way I use social media is I only post the trailers of the movies or the films that I have coming out, and I'll post when they're done filming. I'll post when the trailer comes out, and then I'll post the premiere party. My personal life, if you look at my social media,
it's really
like the posts on Instagram specifically, the posts, you wouldn't see like I don't put like selfies up.
Right.
Yeah,
I did see that. He doesn't put selfies.
I don't do that.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, he's a tourist. Because low key.
Once I don't want to say rebranded, but once I changed my username and like deleted all my personal posts, I kind of just dedicated my Instagram to my network.
Right.
Now, if you do like the stories, you might see something here and there, but I'm just not like that. That's what close friends is for. That's not an ad.
Shameless plug.
Shameless. No, shameful actually. But so that's how I use my social media. I also invested in this. They didn't pay me, so I just want to show you guys. Like this right here.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
It's just basically a QR code.
I have the bootleg version of that.
It's basically, this ain't cost too much. It's basically a QR code on the back of my phone.
QR code in the back of the phone. I had a sticker.
And that's contact card?
With my QR code in the back of my phone.
I'll show you when we're done.
Right.
He has the business card.
Contact
basically.
Okay.
And, since because the way I pay my bills is I'm a bartender by trade.
Okay.
So I don't really have much.
So you already out
like
in
most
the scene.
Most actors are bartenders.
I'm not out in the scene. No. I only bartend at one spot. And
what spot is that? You can't say it?
It's a scene because the scene changes. The scene changes. The spot may not change, or you may not change, but the people do change. So the
people do change. Yes.
Yeah, the people do change.
Especially at the place that I work at. With that being said,
where you work at though?
You can't say.
I don't want.
Is it a mixology place?
No.
Okay.
But the way that I network, I don't really have much time to speak to people. So it's not like a spot that people are sitting at my bar all day. So I kind of just have to get it out of you, network, keep it going. So because of that, my social media has to be strictly.
I get it.
Just
Direct.
I see.
I get it.
I totally understand. Now, are you expressive on your social media?
Yeah, you know, I used to be a lot.
I'd love to
more.
hear this part.
I used to be a lot more, but because of brands that I work for, I have to be very mindful of what I feel is the hate. Because it is the hate. Because the worst thing you do to a creative person is put a box around them and tell them what they can't do, right? That shit like twist my nipples, to be honest with you. Yeah, it really bothers me. But I got to be conscious of it because that's what pays the bills. And like, you know, different cultures don't understand different cultures, right? And, you know, what's a joke to me might not be a joke to you. And I think as a society, we become overly sensitive.
It keeps some self-control.
So I got to be a little more
Can
concerned.
I stop you right there?
Yeah.
My bad. But you said that people like to put you in a box. I feel like in 2023, we have so many avenues that you can't really box me in.
That's the thing, though. But when he started,
when he started, for sure.
It was the box
for
that
sure.
they created. Because I could relate to you as when I started having all these avenues, people were like, you're all over the place. And that slowly crumbled me up. I'm not even going to lie. I had to fight not only to be free, but to be free from that box. You know, so let me just give you a little rundown. You know, I'm a beautician. I do hair and makeup behind the chair. But I know that what I have to provide for my clients and my viewers is more than just being behind the chair and just let's be exterior and let's be beautiful exterior. You know, throughout the process, I had to dig deep within myself. And as creators, you guys know what happens when you go into the dark. You know, it's either you commit suicide, which is you don't have no choice, right? Some people commit suicide throughout this moment, but we kept going. Blessings to that, you know, and rest in peace to those who didn't feel like they could make it. But reality is, we have to keep fighting through that. And fighting through that is learning about yourself, right? And sharing some wisdom. But then now it's almost like, even with you guys, it's almost like, I'm in front of the camera, but I also want to share a story. So now you become a writer. Now you are the writer and the producer. So me, I'm like, now I want to talk. So I started creating podcasts. So when you started your Chop and Chelcha, I started Juicy Talk Juicy, right? Because we all wanted to express. You know, we wanted to express. We wanted to bring people on the platform to express themselves and create more relationships. So I really dig what you guys are doing here. Like, this is strong base, right? And we have to start looking for you type of people, you know, which is we're creating, we are free within ourselves. Yes, we go through our downfalls where we're not feeling like we're incompetent to do what we want to do, but we often get out of it and we go on to do what we have to do. So that's passion.
Do you feel like you put yourself in a box? Like, do you feel like you put yourself in a box?
As a Libra, you may understand. Mentally, like, we struggle with that. On a day-by-day basis, we struggle. Like, are we supposed to be doing this? But I want to do this. But then we also want to, and you correct me if I'm wrong, we also want to consider other people. Right. We're not selfish. When we grow up, we no longer thinking ourselves.
Wait. I want to pause you right there.
Yeah, go ahead.
He muffled under his voice.
Yeah, what he said.
He said, I don't know about that. So he's had a girl or somebody that has broke his heart that was born in October. Because Libras are the most empathetic of signs, if I'm correct.
Listen.
I really believe in
But when Libras are immature, we can tell you that Libras as immature, we are deceiving, we are indecisive, we play games, yes. But when we grow, which after 30 you will determine if you are growing up or not, we are all justice for all. And I stand on that.
Do you have a contrary belief on the Libra?
I've never dated a Libra, so I don't know.
But Taurus are always like that. They just don't like people sometimes.
What I was going towards, it wasn't about women. It was about not being scared to fail.
Right,
you know,
but
how
can you overcome that?
So
teach me.
I'll tell you. When I was younger, I used to make music.
Okay.
Right, never made it, but I tried it. And people used to always tell me, "You got to find a sound. You got to find a sound. What type of artist are you?" And I was opposed to that. I'm like, you can't give me a. Like I used to make different types of music.
Right.
I'm talking about I would
Diverse.
just try shit, and I was trying to show people you cannot like, you know, they say with Kanye West's first 7 albums, every album is different. And I was trying to make every song different on the album.
Right.
Just to show people you cannot box yourself in.
Right.
And people would always tell me, like, people woke up to me and be like, yo,
People
this shit
was
is
not on
trash.
that type of time.
People woke up to me and tell me, yo, this shit is trash. I mean, I was just starting out.
What year was this?
People told you?
I started in 09.
Okay.
Yeah, 100. I mean,
No one ever told me shit about me being trash.
I was
doing
born and
music,
raised.
you're gonna get told you're trash all the time.
I
Trust
was
me.
born and raised in the Bronx. Like, people woke up to me.
BX.
People used to look for me in the school and be like, yo, stop.
Just
Like,
stop doing it.
Yeah, and
What?
I never
People
cared,
never
though.
told me to stop.
But I never cared though. I kept going because it's like,
I'll be damned.
because it's like, nah, but it's real. Because it's like, yo, you're like, I'm not doing this for you.
My thing is a silence.
And I also understand that once you're starting out, you're not gonna
Get the response that
you're
you
not gonna be good. You got to
Yeah.
go through the errors to
How do
continue.
you know this? I want to know how you know this.
So
I mean, I knew that at like 16 because I would, you know, you watch people like,
Experience.
yeah, like you watch maybe not the people around
I
you.
struggle with the silence.
But you know, I grew up with YouTube being a thing, so I would just watch interviews and people talking about their
Yeah,
their
that's one thing
come ups
they
and
do.
stuff, you know.
Yes, you
For
are
sure.
right. You would watch an interview and you would study it.
For sure.
Definitely. Me, I'm not a studier. I'm more of a freelancer.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a freelancer. But I tell you what, that thought of, you know, not being scared to fail. My thing is, failing for me is you didn't hear me.
Okay.
That's failing for me. You didn't hear what I said. So I had to practice how to use a different approach when it came to communicating. You know, sometimes it was aggression, of course. People are not going to hear aggression. So now you have to be calmer. But calmer is almost like passive to people. So I had to find the balance. And one thing for sure, the reason why I sometimes don't get on a camera or do podcasts is because I'm afraid to not be heard. I'm going to admit that, y'all. I'm afraid to not be heard. And don't get me wrong, you don't hear me, I'm okay. But it's just a recovery process of, wow, you ignored me.
Is it hearing you or understanding you?
That's a good question. I don't know. It's up to
'Cause
people.
I could hear you, but you might just listen to what you wanted to listen to.
Right. So, well, I don't mind if you misconstrue it. Once you misconstrue it, I already know not to go back and forth with you. Like, you can't even argue with that. You don't understand what I'm saying. But it's just I think it's the.
How are you as an arguer?
I used to want to argue.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
like in a
It was an
relationship.
urge.
In a relationship,
That's what we're talking about now?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
circumventing.
In a relationship.
How are you as an
I'm in a 12-year
argumentative?
relationship, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
And I'm the talker.
Congratulations.
As a Libra, congratulations.
I ain't making 12 years with none.
Right. It's as a Libra. The thing is, as a Libra, we always want to work things out when it comes to relationships, right? But I'm a Leo, so I communicate raw. But reality is, throughout my learning process of this journey, I had to learn how to communicate, of course. Because my thing was impulsive, and I'm going to say my opinion, you can't tell me nothing.
Yeah.
But that kind of like, because when I wanted to podcast 2019, 2018, I spoke that way, and that got me kind of like canceled. I'm always saying this on the podcast.
You got canceled.
In a way, it wasn't cancel. It wasn't called the cancel community because no one put a name on it at the time. But you feel the cancel.
Oh,
you
they
know, when you
roasted
say,
you. That's what happened.
No, nobody roasted me
flamed
because
you.
I'm well
They
respected.
blackballed you?
It's, yeah,
Okay.
that's what it is.
That's a
They
better way of saying
blackballed you?
it. A better
Can
way.
you explain to the
Better
viewers
way of
what is
saying it.
blackballing?
When they just start talking shit to all the gatekeepers, so you can't go through the doors.
Right.
With
So
with
that-
women specifically, they say she's difficult to work with.
I mean,
That's like
yeah.
that's like the main.
What was it?
She's difficult to work with. That's like the
Exactly.
main thing they say for women specifically.
Exactly, especially the woman that tries to stand in their power. They're really confident in what they bring into the table and da-da-da-da-da. But I'm grateful, and I'm going to say this out loud so the universe can hear me. I'm grateful for that because it has humbled me as a woman. You know, I learned how to speak to men. I learned how to speak to people in general. And speaking to men is just understanding what they're trying to do versus what they're doing. You know, because there's some people, especially men, they tend to do certain things accordingly. You know, like, I'm going to follow what she wants me to do. You know, and
What man is that? I just wanted to start the bullshit because she said 12 years. He's gonna be lit. He gonna be.
I was letting her go. I was just like,
but her man gonna look at the podcast, gonna be like, oh, word?
Can we come back? Can we come back? What I'm saying is, let's say you like a female.
Yeah.
You want to completely transform yourself
for her.
Likable.
Nah, you bugging.
Depends how much I
you
like
bugging.
Depends how much you like her. Have you liked the female?
If it's on some one night stand, then I know I just gotta say ABC.
There's not
1,
enough
2, 3.
time for that.
No, she's talking about if you really like her. If you really
if
like
you
her.
want to pursue her.
Yeah, I would.
You gonna transform?
No.
She gonna tell you to cut the beer off. You gonna cut it off?
No. Hold on.
I mean, you're 39.
There's a difference between transform. There's a difference between transforming and compromising after understanding.
Right.
Oof.
Right.
Okay.
I like how he puts the. He does the acting smooth shit.
Or just he
compromise. What about?
All right, darling. But it's true though. No, but it's true though because there's people because men and women do this or whatever you identify as.
Men and women.
They both do that. That they would transform to get what they want, and then once they got what they want,
Right.
But then there's also people, and once you get to a certain level of maturity,
yes,
you would have healthy conversations.
Right.
And all right, how are we gonna do this? What bothers you? What bothers me? And that's the difference between one night stand or are we gonna go through the summer with like this? Or
just the summer?
So let's talk about the
summer,
seasons.
winter, fall, whatever.
Let's talk about the seasons.
Yeah, summer's not the season to be going through and having that conversation. That's what.
He's trying to say summer we outside. That's what we trying to say.
Yeah, but that's the problem. Though. It's a time.
It's
a time. But there's people that's really like that. Like what Fab said. I'll be back around in June or some shit like that. Like that's a real thing.
Agree.
That's a real thing. But it's a timeless conversation.
It's a timeless
like
conversation.
if you really like somebody, you're not gonna be like, yo, June coming, I'm gonna be outside. Like I'm gonna holler at you when it get cold. Like, yeah.
And when I say to that is, you know who you are. That was a long time ago. We have matured since then.
Right, absolutely.
We have matured.
Sometimes you have no lie. I feel like sometimes I have to give a disclaimer.
A disclaimer about the seasons.
About myself.
Oh, about yourself. Yeah. Well. Being that I know the signs, like you know the signs and all that.
Shouts to the person that knows the signs.
The Leos, the Dominican Leos, bro.
Right. Well, tell me about me.
The Libras get along with the Leos very well.
For sure.
Because now we do, because we're patient.
Yeah.
And we're like, we let shit roll off our back because we think we good either way.
Right.
It's like with or without you, I'm still good. When you don't have your happiness dependent on somebody else, you could be like, you done with your little tantrum? No, that's what we gonna do. As far as
don't ever ask me, am I done? Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Listen, sequel.
Oh, yeah, you see?
Trilogy.
I'll start eating and I'll be like, oh, you still going? And I'm gonna really mess with you because you're gonna see that I'm gonna be expressionless to the point where I'm not even gonna let you know that I'm affected. None of that. So the Leos need validation. Yeah, I need to be told. Yeah, you right. Yeah, the sun is green. Yeah, for sure the sun is green, and the clouds are orange for sure. Yeah, you need to do that to them. So it's like I'll tell them and I'll give the disclaimer like, all right, the sun is green if that's what you want to hear, and then I'll still do whatever the hell I'm gonna do. You feel me? So I don't know when we got to that point in this conversation when we start talking about the astrology, but one thing I can say is that in order for relationship, are we in that point of the
we're in
segment?
relationships. We're in building relationships.
I know a little bit.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Me personally, where I'm at my age, everything, and I know this sounds very cynical. And it's sad.
The disclaimer.
Because I believe in love. The kid believes in love, right?
Right.
But I'm also very realistic to where I'm at in life and what society is and what reality is.
And it makes sense because you've been exposed.
And the responsibilities that I have as a man, all the shit I gotta hold down, my son, those are the most important things to me. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, that's gonna get taken care of with or without me being in a relationship.
That comes first.
Mm-hmm. That comes all the way up here and the rest is in the middle. Now, I've come to the point where it's like, I take things for what it is. If you show me that you kind of 60%, I'm gonna give you 60%.
Period.
Okay.
Is that gonna get us to where we're trying to go? Probably not. Because you're never gonna get more than that.
You know why? Because, and correct me if I'm wrong, whenever you give more, the percentage of what you're supposed to, you're angry at the end, aren't you?
There's no reciprocation in what I'm giving out. And what I do is effortless, right? For me, it's just that's how you're supposed to be. Right. For the next person, or the female, No, I don't need it. But yes, I do. Go ahead. I need a hug, Howie.
Can I dive a little deeper into it?
Please do.
Let's say you guys meet somebody and they're reciprocating your intentions, your emotions. Personally, man and woman, where does the relationship rank? Where does your shorty rank in your priorities, and where does your man rank in your priorities?
Okay, so I will go first. You're reciprocating. That means I'm doing and you're giving.
Like you guys already had the you guys already had the agreement. You signed the verbal contract.
Right.
Together.
So if my man is reciprocating, it's up to me if I want to take it up a notch. You know what I mean?
I like this guy. I like this
guy.
I like this conversation.
You know, it's up to me if I want to take it up a notch because he's reciprocating, right? And if he was to be giving me, my duty is to reciprocate or step it up a notch. Now, maybe I'm bugging out. As a 35-year-old woman, I would want my man to
appreciate you.
To like see the levels of the reciprocation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If you get promoted at a job, you got to hold up to the responsibilities.
Like it's almost like if you see me bumping it up the next time around, I'm not gonna be on top of it, but it's almost like you're supposed to know. It's an expectation, you know, and it's a discourage when you're giving and it's only being reciprocated halfway.
So would you put your career before your person?
In the beginning of time, you at some point do.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. You put your career, and first of all, when we get into relationships, we don't even know our careers. As for me, I probably knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't embark. I embarked in a relationship prior to embarking my career, which is crazy. Now, when you're in a relationship, for me, in my personal experience, you know, the trauma of the relationship pushed me to embark into my career because I needed to focus on other things.
Got it.
What about you, bro?
So when I was younger, it wasn't a priority.
Yeah.
What wasn't?
Being in a relationship.
Okay.
It wasn't in a priority. I'm not. And it's like it's just hard for me to talk because I don't want to sound like that guy all the time.
No, don't.
But we're having an honest convo, right?
That's why you say used to.
Used to.
Right.
Back
I
then.
used to. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So you still got a possibility of ripping, like bouncing back and
He's
forth.
always right here talking.
It's noticed, yeah.
He talks to me. He talks to me.
That's when
That's
you
what
use.
we gotta let people know, though. We gotta let people know that although he's 39, he's embarked. 38.
Going on 39.
He's embarked in so many journeys. He's still got the little fella.
Right. No. Yeah. Definitely. He talks to me.
That's when you use the word healing.
Right. So
Before I healed.
So I'm gonna go so deep for you
Go
guys.
ahead.
I see. I'm gonna see that you guys are there.
deep.
Right. Pause. We're gonna do the Cam and Mace. Pause.
Yeah.
Let me indulge.
Yes. Because that's your thing, though.
Right. So what happens is when I've never had an issue getting women.
Right.
Libra. No, you see what I'm saying?
Libra
I don't want to sound like that guy.
Man.
I mean, once you start dropping
Ladies
Sony,
man.
Joelle Grande.
No, I don't want to sound like that
I
guy.
mean, like, I feel you.
I love him.
I feel you.
Stop. Oh, but I do.
Love women.
You don't
I'm
have to.
indecisive. I'm indecisive. Who to pick? Who am I gonna love?
My number one vice throughout life has been women.
Yes, Libra.
Right, and gambling. But gambling and women. So
They coincide.
Right. Life is a big gamble.
When you up, you up. When you down, you down.
Oof. My man's dropping gems.
Bro, I'm out here.
I see you.
Yo,
Entonces.
he's out here.
Entonces. So, I took for granted a lot of women in my life. They know who they are. They don't talk to me no more. It's okay. Y'all can holler back. We good. You know what I'm saying? Because when you take advantage of what's easily accessible, right? So when you have 4 and 5 and 6.
That was a bar. You take advantage of it was easily accessible. See, I'm not the only one.
No, you're not the only one. But the thing about Libras, Libras will dead you and go on to the next one. Now about Taurus, you guys probably have long-term girls from the past still lingering. Is that true or false?
Oh, they always. If you lay down you You always got the whole
Not
choice.
masculinity. I'm talking about Taurus will always have their ex-boo thing for like 20 years ago.
Is that what you got going on? He took off his glasses, so that's a yes. He took off the glasses, that's a yes.
Yeah, I'm not an astrologist, but I know.
But you know when the glasses come off, what that means. Talk to me.
Yeah, you're gonna take a sip.
He's gonna confess his love right now. I'm waiting for it.
I wasn't gonna do that.
You gonna do it. Go ahead.
They're watching him. He knows they're watching him.
No.
They're gonna be watching.
I was doing that for the camera. Come on, acting,
I
you know
hear
what I'm
him.
saying? Like,
He's acting.
but like you were saying.
Oh, as I was saying, no. So, now I can definitely prioritize more. With that said, I'm also realistic to where life is, where society is. Astrology aside, I think we're at a point where people are a little selfish, right?
Yeah.
Very.
You're very selfish,
And
right?
it's not wrong.
And they're really concerned about how they feel and what they want and what they need all day long. And unfortunately, if you don't compromise in any relationship, you ain't gonna get nowhere. So if everybody wants everything their way, we're gonna get nowhere. We're gonna be at a standstill, right? So me, where I'm at, knowing that my priorities, what I gotta do, ain't nobody gonna pay my bills but me. I put, food in my son's mouth, clothes on his back, all that.
Yeah.
I don't have time. If you act in a certain way for me to give you
Try to
shit.
understand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's on you if you can't recognize what I bring to the table. That's how I really see it. And that's not putting me like, yo soy Jesucristo tampoco.
Right.
Because
But
I'm
you
not
just
easy to be.
understanding your
Nobody is.
values.
Yeah.
If we were, we'd be up there.
Right. Oof.
Now, going back to values, going back to your acting career, do you remember an experience in your acting career that you were scared to do or like struggling to do, but you still went on head first and you killed it?
I'm thinking. If you have an answer, go ahead. Save me.
No, I mean, a lot of my acting has just been extra work and stuff like that. So I haven't had like many speaking roles or anything where I felt like, I haven't gone up for any leading roles where it's like, in life, I've dealt with the rejection of
That's
it. In life, I've done with the rejection, whether it's jobs I go for, or and to segue to kind of where we were at before with certain things about not listening to people putting you in boxes. One thing I want to do with music, and what you was talking about was I want to do the bilingual artist thing in like 1999, and they told me you either do it in Spanish or do it in English. We're not doing it both.
That was me in 09.
Yeah, and they weren't going to allow it. And now you got and now Latin music is in the American Grammy Award show, right? And I was like, yo, trust me,
When
the
you
context.
was on it, nobody was on that type of time.
The only person that was on it was Big Pun. That was like my inspiration because he was the one that.
That's my inspiration.
Yeah.
Too.
Oh, there you go. Like you
And
from the
that's
Bronx.
why I feel
All your Bronx
guys. That's why I feel.
Don't say it like that. Don't say it like that.
All your Bronx guys.
Don't say it
Like
like that.
You know us dudes from Manhattan be hating on the Bronx. Nah, we got love.
Like I feel for you guys because when we were on it, which was we would advance mentally, no one was on it. They made us feel crazy.
And if
They
we would have
made
just
us
stuck to
feel
the
crazy.
guns, we would have been up.
Yeah, but that's the thing about New York
Yeah,
is
but
we don't
we
really
had a
come
lot
together
of-
as much as we should.
Unfortunately.
But
We
we
get more
here
love from
now.
other areas.
We're here now. I think you guys should go look at these two individuals and really get in tune to what they are doing because the messages behind it, like the Latin movies that you guys are in, it really shows our community. And I love seeing that. I love seeing Dyckman on a film, and whether if it's done by Warner Brothers, that's white owned. We have the Dyckman Podcast that is an environment where we are producing and we are creating, and this is where we have to look at. We need to bring the movies over here.
So you brought up, pardon, you brought up the Warner Brothers. Are you referring to a specific film? Because I know there's a specific film that everybody references to about having
I'm just looking at
an
it
alternative view of the community.
No, I'm just
Dyckman
looking at
community?
it as
Of the Washington Heights community.
Yes.
What
And
movie?
you see,
Washington.
I never watched the Washington
I was in
Heights.
it. Go to an hour and
never-
14 minutes and you'll catch the kid.
I never watched the Washington Heights, but I did watch his clip. And because I'm talking to you right now, I would go ahead and watch it. But the reason why I only watch it, and I'm just going to give my own personal opinion, for me,
about In
it's
the
not
Heights, right?
demonstrating what I'm really true about, It's giving the fancy part. I want to get the raw part. And I'm sure if the Dyckman Podcast was to do a revamp of the Washington Heights, it would be a little bit more me. It would be a little bit more relatable. Other than that, I still respect everyone that was in the film.
You talking like we can't do it.
Of course we can.
What are we really talking about?
That's me planting the seed.
I mean, what are we really talking about?
Like, you a writer.
We could write
you
it.
An actor.
We could produce it.
I'm pro.
I mean, it was a
I
musical
have
though.
directors.
We got the Dyckman
If
Podcast.
we were gonna make
We could do a series version.
We could do it.
that's what I'm saying. If,
Who's to say
like,
we can't?
people are kind of it wasn't what they wanted to be. Remember, this is a musical.
It's a musical and it's run by who?
I mean, but even before that, Lin-Manuel, all respect due, had a play out in Broadway that was very similar to the movie.
He didn't have a play. He had the play.
Yeah, exactly.
That shit was
So
crazy.
me look, and now we're gonna delve into a community thing. Me growing up in the Heights, and I come from two specific blocks, 189, 187. When I lived in 187, it was all Jewish and Greek, right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, because
I didn't know that.
previously, generations before us, there was a lot of Greeks, there was a lot of Puerto Ricans, there was even Irish. So when your interpretation of Saint Nick, it might be different from somebody from the west side of Broadway that lives in Fort Washington or Haven.
Absolutely.
You're gonna have a whole different community.
Right.
And this was as recent as like the 90s?
This is as recent as now, bro. If you go past Broadway to Fort Washington, it don't look like the other side of
But
Broadway.
it's almost like they put the Jewish part first versus
There was no Jew.
our part. Like our hood part,
But what do you want? You want to see people dancing and smoking hookah?
No, probably. That would be, but that's only for the Dyckman Podcast to know down.
Then
and just be like, yo, this is, and you to know down what we need to put out.
Then
in
the
our
criticism,
own Dyckman and Washington Heights series.
I'll put it to you this way. We can have a Zoom meeting about it.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not
an actor.
Send me the invite. Send me the invite.
So
Absolutely. I feel like it is possible. I'm just looking at the way things are run. I'm not in the business. I'm in the business, but I'm looking at it. We all want to go to the movie festival, film festival.
Tribeca
right?
or Sundance?
There's a million of them.
Tribeca Film Festival.
I'll tell you this. I'm blessed to be in a position where I can write something and actually make it happen.
And Green Lake?
That's all we need.
And
that's all we need.
And I'm also with the team that I'm with. I can
use them.
Bring it to like distribution and stuff.
Exactly.
So,
that's all we need. This is how we not really close the circle. Because we're not trying to close the circle.
I actually have an interview at 10 o'clock tonight. So after this, I have to go do the first rehearsal for my web series that I'm doing.
Shouts to the web series. I'm looking for
What is it again? Give me information.
It's called Paper Eminence. It's already casted. We're having the first meeting with the director today at 8. But after that, I have an interview for this person I just randomly met who wants me to direct a basketball movie.
Shouts to the randoms.
So,
shout
outs to the randoms.
Yeah, they really do.
You need an assistant coach in the movie? Because my playing days are done.
I'm going to be honest, I don't even know if I'm going to do it. It's just a meeting.
It's a conversation.
Yeah,
well, if you want a street legend,
with that being said, if you guys are serious, we can always come together.
I'm down.
We'll make the story together, and I'll write the script.
Listen, I'm a quick learner. Again, I'm not emphasizing I'm an actor, but I'm a creative. And when you're a creative, you're a jack of all trades.
Facts.
And I'm a woman of all trades. Not only I'm bringing women to their beautiful state of self, I'm also helping women become a beautiful state of mind, which is more internal. But I really enjoy the internal aspect versus the superficial things. Don't get me wrong, the superficial things do attract.
Expand
Let's
on
just
that.
say if I'm beautiful, I attract the men, but then I'm talking about what's your sign and what is your emotional balances. And then it's either you roll your eyes, I know to cut you off, and if you're intrigued, we can continue the conversation as friends, So I really do enjoy you guys and talking to you guys because you guys are really diverse, and that's what we need. You guys are practicing the definition of whole, you being your own full person, whether it's many of them, but you guys are now, what's that word I'm looking for?
Intriguing?
No, it's integrating, right? Isn't it? Like bringing them all together?
I know what
Integrating?
I get it.
Like
I'm
you're
with you.
integrating
I'm with you. Yeah.
yourselves, what you learned in the past, what you learned in the middle, what you learn now, and what you continue to learn. Because even me, let's just say I'm hopeful, to work with you guys. I'm hopeful to continue working with Dyckman Podcast, the Dyckman Podcast, because it gives me a sense of love, and love is what we need to continue to lead with. Because it's only going to create open minds to create more creation, more movies, more messages for the people and your kids. Your kids are going to see what you are doing, you know?
Thanks.
Especially my daughter.
Knock on wood for me, at least.
I have a 10-year-old daughter, and I take pride to being the woman that I am today so that I can teach her to be the woman that she is going to be. You know that there's different types of women, and there's certain women that you would desire but wouldn't want, you know, so.
How old is your son?
He just turned 14.
Yeah. You have any kids?
So you guys had the kids around the same age, I think. You're
Sort of,
25
kind of.
and you're like, what, 20?
Yeah, like
25.
we're running on the same frequency in the same type of way. Like it's almost like whenever you probably lost your shit, I probably lost my shit too. You know, and then
Doesn't mean you got to lose your shit to have children.
yeah, no, not at all. The children is what
putting it
brings
out
us
there.
back from losing our shit. I'm looking at my kid and I'm like, my kid needs me to be present and be well aware so I can dictate and not control her because they do their own thing, right? But
It's like Drake said, sometimes life forces you to calm down.
yeah, and I've been calm as a Leo. Shit, Leo moon. Yeah, listen, I ain't.
Yeah, I want to take a minute to bring a friend of mine who just popped up, a fellow creative from the Dyckman area. My man Kareem Sabanon is in the building.
Shouts to Kareem.
Kareem, come through and you could share him.
He looks familiar.
You probably saw him in a couple of things.
Welcome. Hello. Nice to meet you.
Ken?
I like the vibe. I like the energy. Very respectful.
Yeah.
Hi.
So thanks for joining. So let's just get a little background, whether we,
Dope. Well, first of all, thank you for having me, I guess.
Just to you.
For sure.
Frankie told me about this, and I just didn't want to pass up on the opportunity, especially growing up in this neighborhood. So for me, it's important to definitely speak about current events and things that affect us, especially in the arts. A little background on me. I'm an actor. I've been acting since I was 13 years old.
Shouts.
Grew up in 204 and Post.
Shouts to Post.
It's my hood. Love what I do. Try to inspire others. I think in this business we're underrepresented. And actually today when I woke up, I came across an interview with John Leguizamo, and he was just talking about statistics and numbers and people behind the screen and in front of the screen. And we're extremely underrepresented, especially how we are the majority. So that's one of those things where, you want to get that voice out and speak upon that atrocity of how we're going to the movies and paying for all these branding products and all that, and we still get no love. Like, we can't create our content and get the platform for it. We can create it, but they don't give us the opportunity. Yeah. So I guess with that being said, I'm here for that. I've been blessed to have been working since I was 13. I have a dope TV show that's coming out on HBO in July.
Shouts to the TV show.
Yeah, it's called Full Circle with Claire Danes, Dennis Quaid, directed by Steven Soderbergh. Like, this is a big deal, but I am. I've been SAG since I was like 15. Yeah. It's a good thing and a bad thing, but you didn't hear that.
If we had more time, I would ask you about that.
Yeah, no, we'll get to that.
I'm so impressed. Like, if you see my photos and I'm like stargazing, it's
Nah,
because
stop
I'm
it.
I'm kind of battling with that.
Forget the stars
I would
that people claim them
I
to
would
be
love.
stars. Like,
Yeah,
these people.
I got you, man. I mean, my whole thing is just to try to give out this information for free and then inspire others. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So this is a platform that you guys have created and have a fan base, and I hope that it can touch somebody's soul. If you're trying to pursue something, you can do it. Like, I'm testament to it. They're testament to it. Like, just get up off your ass and do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh my God.
It's okay. We've all been honest, Kareem.
Oh, honesty is the best policy.
We've all been honest.
I'm 40 years young.
Oh my God.
Listen, one thing.
You know how they say black don't crack? I say Spanish don't vanish.
Spanish don't
I'm gonna
vanish.
steal that from
I
you.
love
It's in my
that.
pocket.
I got the t-shirts too if you want it.
One thing I always
$6.99.
I'm gonna go get
You
the
know,
get the shirts. Spanish
You've been doing
don't
this since
vanish.
13, so maybe you could relate. One thing I always say is, if you say you want this, that's the wrong answer. It has to be your life.
Oh yeah, no.
Literally
I mean,
has to be.
it has to be A to Z. You can't have a plan B.
You can't be like, oh yeah, I want to.
You can't half-ass anything that you do. You're losing already, yeah.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that you can't multitask and do other shit because as artists,
jack of all trades.
With modern day Renaissance
trading,
man, right?
Trading.
My man's such a hustler that this.
You see that, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
100%.
that is an example of the jack of all trades, right? I think at the end of the day, when you dedicate yourself to something and you have a passion, you don't do it for money. Money comes. It's a perk that comes along. You can't say, "Oh, I'll be happy if I had a roof over my head," because now you're holding yourself back from getting those riches. What you do is say, "I'm doing this shit because I love it," and along the ride and the journey, I get to get that rollie or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Because those are the perks. Those are the things that you deserve. Right?
Coming from a man in his 40s, like you guys.
But what would you be man in his 40s? Eh?
She likes to add. She likes to put a 2 years more.
Not even that.
The reason why is because first of all, you guys don't look old. Okay? You guys don't look old. And you guys aren't adding the age. It's just the amount of wisdom. I need to put a stamp on it because I'm 35.
We in our prime.
I'm 35 and I'm not old, but sometimes I do feel old. But just watching you, it's just like, I'm starstruck. Like, okay, maybe they may not be in these big ass films, and I hope that you guys aren't looking at it being your goal to be in these big ass films.
That's Kareem's
goal. We are the big ass films.
That's Kareem's goal.
What I'm saying,
and he will be.
We are the big ass films. You are the big ass actor and the big ass production that we have here. You know what I mean? Whether people are noticing it now or not, 10 years from now, I'm sure the Dyckman Podcast is going to be something crazy, just putting people, creatives on, and just being that platform from here and editing audios and auditing videos. He's doing movies.
Shout out to G-Man for giving you guys the space. That's my man. And,
the Dyckman legend.
He is the legend. G-Man, baby.
I feel like
That's
him.
a G-Man.
I feel like him coming in at the end, because he wasn't here for this whole conversation, just reassured. He just reassured everything.
Kind of summarized what we've been talking about for a couple of years.
He was like, "Yo, this is how I feel." ABC, and the whole time we was like, "Yo, ABC."
Oh, prepreparation, baby, preparation.
And that's the reason.
Preparation, being ready for whatever, whenever.
That is the alignment that we are all in right now. When it comes, me being a fake astrologist, I'm going to say a fake astrologist because I don't claim it. But as a fake astrologist, right?
What's your sign? You got to ask him.
What's your sign?
I'm a cusp. I'm a Gemini and Taurus. So my birthday's coming up May 21st. Hey.
Shouts to the Geminis. Geminis are very, very talkative. So
yes, we are.
And Taurus could be very, very, I'm too cool. But the fact that Gemini, you have your Gemini is 2 people. You have your...
Double the fun.
Yeah, right. So you can easily, go with the energy of the room. If the energy is talkative, you're gonna be talkative.
I picked it up right away. You guys exude that dope shit.
So one last question before we cut.
Yeah.
So my mom's in Aries, right?
Right.
But she's
strong.
My mom's in Aries, but I was born 5 hours into being a Taurus. Does that make me on the cusp?
Yeah, you're on the cusp.
So am I more Aries than Taurus?
You could be both.
Because I'm Taurus gang.
Don't get it
twisted. I'm Taurus gang. But
what I'm getting with you.
You feel me?
You're more Taurus than Aries. Aries are extra bold, where they could come off across as mean. When I first met you, you was more to yourself, so that's giving Taurus energy.
Call me now.
Well, she's been watching Mercado the whole time.
Speaking about call me now,
why the Mercado's in the back cooking some shit right now?
Pause. Let me tell you guys.
Oh shit, he died. My bad.
I do read cards. Because as a woman of inner beauty, I had to understand myself. And the cards, in case you guys don't know, the cards is the journey of the fool. Okay?
My mother, ella lee la taza.
So I want to see her.
We all up in that.
But the journey of the fool is the journey of the beginner. And we all begun something. And throughout the journey of the fool, this is the tarots. Throughout the journey of the fool, you meet certain people. Whether the teacher, whether the devil, whether temptation, whether self-care. All of this come into play in your journey. So when I draw these cards pretty much gives you the energy of what's coming, what's past, and what's here. All right, so I do read cards, ladies and gentlemen, every day at 10 o'clock on my Instagram. HAWTFUH. You're going to see it, hot fucking shit, right? Every day at 10 o'clock, I drop a carousel of cards. And you screenshot them, as many as you want, and you could send me the screenshot, and I will interpret them for you for free. just because I feel like I am a huge part to the collective. You know, you guys have all your links. I'm here. And whether I'm in your crew, I would be another link. If you guys pay attention.
We throw out the hashtags. Well, Reem Savvy, REEMSAVI.
Right.
I post about everything I do. I'm very open about, you know, my journey. And I think it's important to always share your journey because our journey is what makes us who we are.
Absolutely.
And, you know, the glitz and the glamour is always shine, but you have to shine the journey because the journey, you know, creates that glitz and glamour and keeps you humbled.
Right, absolutely. And people think we use Instagram as diaries and stuff, and when we're vulnerable, we kind of do, and it's nothing wrong with that. And he's here to emphasize it at where he's at and what he's doing.
Those 10 minutes is up or what? Oh, because I could keep talking.
Just give us a countdown.
No, we got 3 more minutes.
We got 3.
Let's just shout out what we got going on. Shout out
what we got going on.
Let's go from you.
You want me to start? Yeah, because I just spoke. So.
Okay, so I have Mango Aquí Dominican rom-com made for us by us. I have a feature-length film called One Life to Live coming out soon. I played the antagonist, and I also wrote on it, casted it, and co-directed it. I have a web series coming out called Paper, where I'm the star of it, and I also have a web series called Paper Eminence, which is a spinoff where I starred in it, wrote it, produced it, directed. Can
you please claim the jack of all trades, please?
I'm gonna let y'all say it for me. I also have a film called What You Want, just came out, and I have a bunch of projects coming out as well. You could just follow me on Instagram, Kevin.Bencosme, Bencosme, because everybody knows how to spell Kevin, nobody knows how to spell Bencosme. And yeah, just stay up to date with me. I have stuff coming the entire year. What'd you all say? Don't watch me, watch TV?
Yeah.
Don't watch TV, you'll watch me, you heard?
Dope.
I'm feeling that.
Dope.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so it's a couple of them. At Frankelito NYC is the personal page. At Medina's Mind is just for the creative and the writing.
Art.
And at Trap and Checha is the podcast, which we're revamping. You'll get my book, Notes to Self, on Amazon.com.
Dope.
You could see me featured on a couple things, you know, your local comedians. Shout out to all my friends, Juan Bago, Tommy 5K, all of them. Even Cream has graced me with his presence once or twice when I want to do a skit. He's allowed his professionalism to be a part of it. And I want to shout out Dyckman Podcast first and foremost, and the Washington Heights Dyckman area. We run this, La República, Primero Dios, y mi gente boricua, ya tú sabes.
This thing got the Oscar. All right, guys. Like I said before, my name is Reem Savvy, Kareem Savignon. That's my handle, REEMSAVI. You know, I've done what I've done, and I continue to strive. You know, I've had projects on Amazon, on Netflix, HBO. I've been blessed, and I just want you to continue to go through this journey with me, because it's by me for us. So at the end of the day, you know, shout out to Dyckman Podcast for having me for the last 10 minutes that I was here, but hopefully we'll get another segment. And I just want to say thank you to you guys for allowing me to sit with you, have your presence, and be able to vibe. And the energy is dope and it's real. So, and as we say that, my man is pouring us this fantastic bottle of Caramis that is a cognac. It's finely made. All right, I'm just joking. They better give me something. That's an engagement. They better give me that shit.
Sure. As for me, for those that don't know, I'm a beauty consultant. I consider myself a beauty consultant because I don't want to just be a hairstylist. Yeah, I style your hair, but it's a little bit more than that, because throughout the journey, I had to understand myself. So I allow my clients and give my clients the wisdom, the information, the guidance to do the same way they are overcoming fear. I am doing the same right now. So I'm just living experience. You know, I'm sharing my journey. I'm doing what I have to do. Let's just say, at some point at 35, I realized that it's not me working with major companies. It's me just breaking through the fear, no matter who I work with. And I don't mind working with the Dyckman Podcast.
Yeah.
Because this is a production company that is to the rise. The reason that they even put me on, from wherever I came from, put everyone on from wherever they came from. But that's the point, creating that community for us to be ourselves. And that's what I encourage. I encourage the creative community to just be themselves and do what they have to do to break those barriers that, yes, we can do it coming from Dyckman, coming from the Heights, coming from the Bronx. Like, we here. And can nobody stop that? The same way Zeus Network, no offense to y'all, I still watch y'all, and now that's TV networks, we got the same, the Dyckman Network, you already know.
Should we do a toast?
Let's do a toast. Before we toast, though, I got to ask you one question. You gonna end it, right?
Come over here.
You gonna end it, right?
Y mira, oye, tú no tenías que hablar, loco. Tú no tenías que hablar.
Those mouths don't get fed.
I wanna end this with a question to you.
Talk to me.
As a beauty consultant, you ever had to tell a girl she was mid? Don't answer that.
No one is mid.
Don't answer that.
No one is mid. I feel like you don't know who you are. When you step foot in my salon.
Take a shot though.
Oh wait.
Come on now.
You can't tell us without
When you
drinking.
step foot in my salon.
Political correctness.
G-Man, what was that? You giving this
guy
10 minutes? G-Man said 10 minutes. I'm just kidding.
When you come to my salon, I don't consider anyone inadequate or not beautiful. I feel like what we could work with to get it enhanced. I'm a beauty enhancer.
Oof.
If you don't know
Oof.
what you are, I'm here to tell you what we are as an individual, as a collective. And that's because I know facts. I'm not going to get deep and whatever, but I know facts that we are, powerful beings. And just being around these individuals, it gave me power. And I'm truly grateful.
Love.
With that, you already know.
We're going to round it up.
Fred.
And thank you, Dyckman Podcast. Thank you, Havana Tacos. Havana Tacos.
Yo, you see the cup?
Healthy Dyckman, you already know.
Coming for that happy hour.
Yeah, I'm going to eat some tacos right now. Like, where's the tacos at?
Live from the MC.